In the hush between heartbeats, I found your name whispering through me, not spoken but imprinted, an echo that lives in the marrow of my days. I had not known how deeply silence could hold meaning until your voice became the background music to every quiet moment. It isn't just your laughter or the curve of your lips when you're lost in thought. It's the gravity you carry, how your presence draws mine like a tide to the moon. You are the orbit I fall into without resistance, the answer to questions I never knew I was asking. When I breathe now, I measure it in nearness to you. Even in your absence, I trace outlines of your memory on my skin, a soft haunting of fingertips. I am shadowed in you, subtly, completely. And in this gentle possession I do not lose myself, but find the parts of me I never dared to name. You do not complete me. Instead you awaken every dormant ache for something whole. Every word I write drips with the ink of your presence. Every glance I cast holds the reflection of the world through your eyes. Your love arrived not like thunder but like dawn, quiet, certain, inevitable. It came when I wasn't looking, when I had stopped reaching out into the void. You didn't fill a void, you made me realize I had been whole all along, just waiting for someone to see me in. You don't stand in front of me asking me to follow, nor behind, needing me to lead. You stand beside me, hand steady, steps matching mine. This is the love I never thought I'd find, not desperate, not wild, but deep as roots and warm as hearth. You calm the storms I used to think were part of me. In your gaze I see my reflection softened, not for lack of sharpness, but because you see my wounds, and love them too. You love not despite them, but because they shape the person you hold close. I don't fear the mirror when you are near. In your arms I feel not smaller but expanded, as though being loved by you has made room for me to finally breathe. You have touched parts of me no hands could ever reach, not with grasp but with presence. Sometimes I look at you and wonder how the stars were generous enough to place you here, at the right time in the right place, with the right kind of heart. You speak in small actions, the coffee ready before I ask, the way your hand hovers when I'm about to break, not grabbing, just letting me know you're here. You listen with more than ears, you listen with intention. There's a patience in you I never learned from anyone else. I could scream or cry or fall apart in every color I possess, and you'd simply stay steady, safe. Loving you is like walking barefoot through sacred ground. I am always aware of the depth of where I stand. Every mundane hour becomes golden in your company. There is no performance, no mask, just me and you and the space between us, rich with quiet knowing. You don't need to promise forever. Your every breath already feels like a vow. In your silence I found my loudest truth, and that truth is love, not fleeting, but foundation. When I think of the world before you it seems gray, functional, but missing the bloom. You brought color back into things I had stopped noticing, how sunlight spills across sheets, how wind can sound like laughter if you're listening for it, how even rain has rhythm. You make life feel poetic again, not because it changed, but because you changed how I see. Even my solitude is sweeter now, because it's laced with the memory of you. I carry you like a favorite book, always close, always open to my favorite part. The chapters of us unfold slowly, and I don't rush to reach the end. I savor each line, each moment, each shared breath. There is grace in how you move through my days, like a steady drumbeat anchoring the melody. I used to think love was fire or flight, burning, or escaping. But with you it is earth, grounded, fertile, ever-growing. You've taught me to stay, to root, to bloom where I once withered. And in doing so you've become more than a lover. You've become the garden I never knew I needed to grow in. I want you to know how I memorize you, not just in the way you look, but in how you feel. The weight of your hand resting on mine, the cadence of your breathing in sleep, the gentle sigh you make when the world becomes too loud. These are the details I hoard like sacred treasures, not to keep you but to understand you. You are layered, like poetry. Each time I read you, I find something new. There are days when I want nothing more than to crawl inside your thoughts, sit beside your worries, and tell them it's okay. I don't love just the parts of you that shine, but also the corners where you hide your doubts. You don't need to wear your strength for me. I will carry your softness like a banner. We don't have to be perfect, just real. I'd rather have 1,000 flawed days with you than a single perfect one with someone else. There is something holy in the ordinary when you are near. Every flawed second with you is etched in gold, in my memory, and I wouldn't trade it for anything less true. There are still mornings I wake and think, how is this real? How did someone like you become someone like mine? It's not possession, I don't own you, but rather it's the marvel of having you choose me over and over again, in small ways that matter more than grand gestures. I don't need fireworks when your fingers find mine under the table. I don't need declarations when your eyes tell stories your lips have yet to speak. You see, love isn't loud with us. It's steady. It's knowing you'll come home not because you have to, but because you want to. And I will wait at that doorway always, not with desperation but with joy, with the knowing that your presence turns walls into sanctuaries. I've kissed you with both laughter and tears, and still, you hold me the same. You're the safest place I've ever known, not because the world is easier with you, but because I no longer walk it alone. You make the weight bearable. You make the path something I want to travel, even when it's hard. Because with you, even the struggle is sacred. Sometimes I want to write you into every sunset, trace your name into the wind. I want the world to know what it means to be loved by someone like you. Someone who doesn't just touch skin but touches soul. There is a sacredness in how you witness me, in how you don't flinch from my chaos. When I shatter, you don't try to fix me. You sit with the shards bleeding if you must, just so I'm not alone. And in that, you teach me what love is. It is not rescuing. It is not perfection. It is showing up, again and again, especially when it's hard. I never have to ask you to stay. You simply do. Not out of obligation, but because you see something in me, worth loving, even when I forget how to be lovable. And that is the gift. Not the roses, not the poems, but the choice you make, every day, to see me, hear me, hold me. You are the poem, the bloom, the constant. You are the quiet answer I'd been waiting for. And now that you are here, I no longer question if I am enough. I carry you in all the places that matter, in the space between breaths, in the hollow of my chest, where your laughter lingers. Even when we are apart, I feel your essence folded into the hours. You have become the thread in the fabric of my ordinary. Even when I move through moments you don't share, you are still there, in the way I smile at strangers, in the softness I've learned from you, in the courage to be still. I no longer run from love. I rest in it. I rest in you. There's a gravity in your presence that anchors the chaos I used to wear, like a second skin. I didn't believe in fate until I met you, but now I believe not in coincidence, but alignment. Something about us feels orchestrated by stars, older than time. You are not just a chapter in my story. You are the ink, the quill, the language, and I will write us into every future I can imagine. Not because I need to keep you, but because loving you is the most honest truth I've ever known.